Hey guys, so I didn't intend on doing a video, as a lot of times happens, but I went upstairs in my office and I was looking for something. I was looking for an old Arkansas stone that belonged to my grandfather, and I thought it may be in a drawer. Pardon me while I buckle my belt. I don't know how that got done. I guess last time I just used it, the last time I undid it, I guess I didn't rebuckle it. But at any rate, I was going through looking for an old Arkansas stone. I found it, by the way. It was just a little small one. I wanted to use it to knock burr off of stuff, and I had brought it in, and I knew it was up there. But when I was digging around, I also came across some stuff, and I was looking down in the drawer, and I'd come across it the other day when I showed Matthew a picture of it. I found stuff that I've had since high school. I had the worst taste in knives. Well, this didn't come from high school, but this did. These three knives here and a fourth that is currently at Matthew's house because we're using it as a throwing knife because, well, it was a throwing knife. I bought a throwing knife. These are all things I bought when I started to be able to have access and use my own money for what I wanted it for. I worked on a farm. I did get an allowance at that point. I got paid to mow the yard. I got paid to mow a couple other people's yards. I worked on a farm and stuff, but I basically, all income I had was mine to do with whatever I wanted. And I got into knives, as we all know. But I didn't know what a good knife looked like. I mean, I knew what a good slip joint. My dad had a lot of them. So what we're going to look at here, I'm going to pause you guys and figure out how I want to do this. But we're going to look at some crap knives that I've had since I was 15, maybe. So stand by. Here comes the music. Don't complain about it. Just turn the volume down. Here it comes. All right, so I've got them laid out. I figured I had to do some mental gymnastics to try to remember where I got these. Now, two of these I bought at a physical store in a place called Zanesville, Ohio. They had a shopping mall down there, and we would go down there. And they had a place called the Cowboy and Something Shop. But it was like a head shop, and it was complete mall ninja crap. They had the fake wall hanger swords, and they had the United cutlery stuff, which has gotten better, but at that point in time was fucking awful because two of these are United cutlery. So you have these two that I bought just about the same time period, and then you have these were United cutlery stuff that I bought from a catalog. I believe we ordered all this stuff through Smoky Mountain Knife Works back in the day. And then there's these two that I physically bought at said store. Now, these are horrible. They are. The handle is canted off to the side. It looks cool. It says that it's a Frost cutlery. It was it was basically a knockoff of the Blackjack by it was a Blackie Collins design, but if you look at it, you can see that. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. The fucking guard is completely angled up. The edge is completely wrong. It was supposed to be the Blackie Collins Ace of Spades or Blackjack. I can't remember, but because it looked like the symbol of the ace. And then this is all just glued on. These weren't. This was a Frost cutlery that, like, I don't know if he licensed that design to them. These were horrible. Here, let's turn it around and take a quick look at this one. So you can see this is all just glued. None of this was done. It's not straight. That's crooked. Very crooked, if you can get it. See how crooked that is. Grinds were pretty bad, but this was it. This is what I wanted. I wanted a boot knife, and this was a big one. And then I got it. I saw it. I liked all the colored wood, which just happens to be different layers of just plywood that was soaked in Kool-Aid. And then it had this high quality leather sheath that has never once held that knife properly.
So there's that one.
And so since we're on the same theme, we'll take a look at the other knife that I bought at said store. Because I believe that the last two are actually better than these two. This is not that bad a knife. It's more what I've done to it. So I bought this. I took martial arts for years. I wanted something cool and Japanese-esque. And I bought this, and this was a Taylor knife. Taylor knives. And this is not a bad knife. It's actually held up really well. But the problem with it is I, in my infinite teenage wisdom, decided I wanted this to be a full zero grind, which is kind of what I had in my head. Even I'd taken martial arts and stuff like that, and I had not really looked at things real close. That's what I was thinking in a Japanese dagger. But as you can see, I may revisit this. You can run your fingers down here and you can feel the thick and low spots in this. So what I did was, at the time, I didn't have any real good stones. And so I think this could be done now, but you can see there's some inconsistencies in that. But in my teenage stupidity, I decided to try and zero grind this. This actually was, for a long time, one of the sharpest knives. I mean, it's still really sharp. It's really thin. But it's thick blade stock. It's been done well. It's not a bad knife at all. As a matter of fact, the grind on it, straighter than a Benchmade. But, I mean, it was just something that it wound up just sitting, and it was in a box of stuff. I don't know why I even grabbed it. I don't know. The only reason I have these is there was a box of stuff that my dad had been saving. So, those are the ones I bought at a physical store. That's how bad the knives I were buying at the time. I bought those. I physically handled, like I said, the Japanese style one's not bad. It's not a bad knife. It really is not a bad fixed blade. It just needs a better sheath. That's all the thing, too. There's no retention on this sheath. It's just a piece of wood wrapped with leather. I mean, it's not bad, but it rattles around. So the next two, I bought sight unseen. I didn't even order them. I gave the money to a friend, and he ordered them, if I remember right. It was a friend of mine named Jason. And he was into knives too. We had so many knives. We carried so many knives. I only have a few of the massive number of garbage knives I had. But this is a United boot knife. And this was the Black Widow. And it had a Black Widow embossed on the handle. And I didn't like it. This actually is not a horrible knife. So it's an aluminum handle, but it had a Black Widow or a spider web or something on it, embossed on it, just like this. Can you see the scorpion on that? It was a lot like that. And so I just filed that all off, cleaned it up, and I spray painted it silver. And it's sticky because the paint has gotten into something that is now causing that. No, it wasn't even, it was a paint pen. It's a paint pen I did this with. And I carried this thing in the small of my back and shit to school, I always had this on me for a while. And so I had this. This isn't a horrible boot knife for what it is. It served its purpose. You know, a little in there. Yeah, emergency purposes, kidney, something like that. I mean, this isn't horrible for what it is, but it was UC203 stainless steel, made in Taiwan. And it's a canvas sheath with a little plastic insert in it. With a snap, and then a belt clip. This is a boot knife. Never could carry it in a boot. I wore cowboy boots back then, and it would just flop around. So then I was like, that was kind of cool. And my buddy told me, I distinctly remember, I had not even looked at the catalog when I saw this knife. And he said, hey man, I can get you a deal. This thing's on sale. It's 2 knives in one. It's got a push dagger, and it's a dagger, and you can carry it horizontal. It's got these things. And he was telling me all about it. And he goes, dude, just give me the money, and I'm going to order one for me. So he ordered one for me and one for him. The scorpion dagger. Now, this did have some shit serrations that I took out with a file because I wanted it to have that wasp. I was going to give it a wasp waist profile because it reminded me of the desert dagger, the Gerber Mark II dagger. And I just never finished. Because I got news for you. If you've ever, even this crap stainless steel, if you've ever done a bunch of filing on hardened steel by hand, you lose interest in it real quick. So that was supposed to be this wasp-waisted thing that looked like a desert dagger, only I just never finished it. And I mean, it never was sharp. It's so thick. It's such thick stock. And then it doesn't have a bit of taper to it. I mean, the tip is just, it's pretty blunt. I tried what I could, you can see, to try and change the profile, and I filed it. But here was the kicker. Here's your second knife. You ready for the push dagger? Because no one's going to hear you doing that. That's your push dagger. That was your scorpion stinger. That's your push dagger. I was like, I got it, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. And then I got to thinking because, I mean, it is, watch this. It has not been hardened at all. It bent. You couldn't do anything with it. The blade on it, the little blade on it's bent so many times. So that always stayed in there. It started falling out. I think I super glued it in. This thing, yeah, it's been super glued into the aluminum scale or the aluminum butt cap. So there's that. The United, another United cutlery. It was black too. The blade was black, and I took that all off. It started, the black was not very robust. And this last knife I have is not something I bought. This was a gift from a friend of mine. He was my roommate, actually, my buddy Alan. Alan, if you watch my channel, you're going to see this. I still have this. So he's like, hey, man, I got you something cool. I'm like, all right. It was a birthday present. It's a push dagger with gut hook, and it was marketed as a hunting knife. And I could never get it sharp. I never wanted to take an edge. It just says stainless steel, no brand or anything. He bought this for me. We were in the street markets. It was my birthday. We were in Thailand. And it was in the street markets, and he comes up to me. We're both drunk, and we're hanging out. We were on our ship together, and he comes up and he's like, "Bro, I got you a birthday present." And I was like, "Bro, you bought me a beer at the last place. We're good." And he hands me this. It was in a box, and it was a hunting knife or hunting and tactical or some shit. But I kept it. It was a gift. So these are all just goofy little shit. Let me get a good. We'll look at these two up close. Actually, we'll look at those last three because you got to see the other ones. Look at these last three up close. Let me flip it around and let you see them up close because they're horrendous. They're horrible. So as you can see, guys, these have sat so long out of character for me. I have let things that I own rust. This actually is not badly made. I just never could get it sharp. But then again, at the time, I didn't know how to sharpen a recurve real well. It wasn't something I'd ever had before, and I just couldn't get the angles right. I was still learning how to sharpen when I got this. Had not even really. Here is your Scorpion Dagger by United Cutlery, and you can see I tried a couple times to get this thing sharp. Never could. I wound up turning it into a throwing knife for a while. It's got some nicks and shit in it. But here, let's look at the push dagger part of it. Just a piece of crappy sheet metal that they stuck in there. It didn't even have a point really. I did. I did all of that when I was a kid. These things, these are knives, guys, that I have had more than 20 years. There it is, the Blackwood. This one I may actually go to the trouble of cleaning up. This actually is not horrible. It just needs to be done, and then it just needs to be just blasted. Just a blasted finish on that, on these aluminum handles. And they're a hollow aluminum handle too. Cast aluminum. Pretty sure that tang is just set down in there. There's probably a nut or something in there. But yeah, guys, just silly little stuff that I had when I was growing up. And I just thought maybe you guys would like to see how far I've come in the quality of knives in my collection. I'm going to keep this. These things won't ever go. These are things I'm going to keep. This probably would throw. It's got fairly decent balance to it. Matt has a throwing knife target. But I mean, in comparison, this knife cost more than all of those knives you saw combined. So, like, people tell me I'm a knife snob sometimes, or I'm a steel snob. But I mean, this is where I started. So, like, that's why people send me pictures of things that they got for their collection and things like that, and they're like, "Oh, it's nowhere near what you've got in your collection." And I'm like, "Look, it's not always, you always start somewhere. You always start somewhere, and everybody thinks that their favorite knife in their collection is the nicest knife out there. Everybody does. Until they find one better, and then they want that knife. That's what started it. That's what starts it. It turns into an addictive behavior of buying things because you think it's better than what you had before, and it's just it just turns into a snowball effect, and everybody's like, that's addictive behavior, and I'm like, guess what? So is being a workaholic, and there's a lot of those things out there that are just not illegal. It's not illegal to get addicted to knives, guys. It really isn't. But oh, you know what? Somebody told me. They told me I look like the unbox therapy guy. They said if I just had a little bit more gray in this, that I would look like the unbox therapy guy. It's like, you just need glasses, and you'd be the unbox therapy guy. I was like, I don't know who you're referring to. And then I went and found the channel, and I was like, if I still wore glasses, I would look a lot like that guy. So, all right, guys, that's it. I just had a little break. I was looking for something. I was going to use it on a knife that's in. It's a fairly soft steel. It's a really old knife. I'm not even going to show it to you guys. The guy was like, look, it's personal, and it's here for a personal reason. But that's what it was. It's for a very old knife. And I think that old Arkansas stone to knock burrs off what's on there right now, and then get my older, softer oil stones. They're gentler. So that one's probably get done on the Arkansas stone because it doesn't take that much material off. And it is old, and it's something that belonged to his grandfather. So, but he's like, he didn't want to have it on the channel. So I hope I don't upset him by talking about it, but it is something that's what I was looking for specifically. It's something fairly old that I think that older type of stone is going to be more suited for. It's not going to be as aggressive. It's just going to take longer. So guys, I got to go clean off my entire workbench so that I can use oil as a lubricant, and I have to cover all of my water stones and my strops and all of that because I can't get mineral oil on any of that. The diamond stones, actually, the guy that makes them told me he has used mineral oil. It should not degrade the stones at all. But my other stones, if I get oil on them, they're done. It's ruined. Degreaser and things like that don't work. It binds in there, and then as you use it, you got a spot where the water won't soak, and then that part just comes apart. It's like it unbinds the abrasive. So, as always, guys, if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. In this corner is going to be a video that YouTube thinks you like. In this corner here is going to be a video that I think you like. Here is going to be a subscription link. Down here will be the Patreon link if you choose. And down in the description, I'm going to get into it a little more fully when everything has been figured out, and I'm sure of everything. But there is my daughter's GoFundMe, and it's really important for you guys to at least share it. There's been some financial stuff that has changed or was not actually going to happen in the first place. I don't know. I don't 100% know what's going on, but apparently that sponsorship thing that was going to happen for my daughter, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's just been too much back and forth and stuff that it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. So if you want to share it or can share it, that would be great. If you can donate, that would be great as well. And like I said, Patreon always that goes to my daughter as well. So love you guys. I will talk to you later. I'm going to come up with something creative. I have a knife here from Matt that I really want to show. And it's going to kind of fall in line with what I was talking about on this. All right, guys, take it easy. Love y'all, and I'll see you next time.